What's up, everybody? Welcome to Value Town, episode 35. I'm your host, ChanManV, and I got my co-host here, Trump, each and every week. How's it going, Trump?
Hello.
All right. And we got two special guests today, and they decided to dress the same today, so color coordinate. Not sure why, but we're going to find out. But we got Ek0p and Gnimsh here. Welcome to the show, guys.
Such mystery, much wow.
Such mystery. I get hyped.
Oh man.
Man,
So
lots
much
of good stuff to
excitement.
talk about. Of course, these guys got an announcement, which you guys have probably seen on Reddit. Really great news for these guys. So we'll talk a little bit about the Cloud9 announcement, and then Nox Ramos got some leaked cards that we haven't talked about yet on the show. So we'll get everybody's opinions on those. A little bit talk on the current metagame, see if anything's changed in the last week. And then a couple events that are going to be happening this weekend. The Millennium's doing an event over in France, and then wellplayed.org is going to be doing something, and I think a few of us are going to be involved with each of them, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Then we'll do some Q&A at the end. There's no Reddit thread, unfortunately, today, but we'll try to take some questions from the chat. Hopefully, chat will be in a state where we can actually take questions. If not, then we'll have to figure out what we do, but we'll try to take as many questions as we can. So, all right, guys, let's start off with some big announcement from Ek0p Gnimsh, as well as others, including Kalento, Hafu, and
And
StrifeCrow.
Strife.
But Cloud9 is endeavoring into Hearthstone. Cloud9, for those of you that don't know, huge NA team, particularly for League of Legends. They're obviously kind of getting into this space, and they're starting off with a pretty sick team, pulling on Doggy House, or the majority of Doggy House, and then again Hafu and Kalento. So that is a crazy team. First off, I want to get your general thoughts on it, and then we'll get some background as to like how it all happened. So how you guys feeling about the whole thing?
Ek0p
Amazing.
maybe. How do you feel about it?
I feel awesome. I mean, I've been waiting for this moment so long, so till we could finally announce it. And yeah, I mean, we were patient. Dogger House was pretty much patiently waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike onto the competitive esports scene. And now the time has come. We got picked up by Cloud9. And yeah, I mean, we don't accept anything less than the best, and Cloud9 is the best team. So there you go.
All right,
Pretty pumped.
there you go. Gnimsh, how about you?
Oh man, I'm so happy. Like it's well, I really enjoy the fact that we are getting 5 people at the same time instead of like
Yeah.
being picked one by one as other teams do it, because we'll have a clear team structure, also like being based originating from Doggy House, where we already had this like cooperation injected in between us. So it's well, we were playing with Striker for a long time, like thinking about this opportunity, so we bonded together. Colento joined us recently and played with us in the Take TV. Like he was no Doggy House, but he was still on Mana, and he actually is still on Mana till the end of this month. But
Okay.
he was playing with us. We were communicating, and we were always good friends with Hafu as well. So I'm super excited by the exact order in this team and the people that we have. So super hyped.
Yeah, Trump. Any comments to these guys? I guess about the announcement. What do you think of it? What is your take on this whole thing?
A big congratulations to Ek0p, Gnimsh, and the others. Like some of my favorite players on that team, and I know that there are a lot of highly skilled players. So looks like a team to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I'm particularly surprised about Hafu. Hafu joining a team is really a big step into her, I guess, committing to competitive play more so than more of the entertainment type of side. Which she's been like a full-time streamer and that sort of thing. So that's going to be really cool too, because I've been wanting Hafu to really step it up and go to some of these huge tournaments and potentially do well. So great, it's good.
Oh yeah, that definitely. I mean, Hafu was really looking forward to have an opportunity to go into the competitive scene, because she also has a competitive background. Like
Oh,
she's
yeah.
playing World of Warcraft and Bloodlight Champions, if I'm not
She's a world
mistaken.
champ. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So definitely. I mean, she really wanted to have a team, and when Cloud9 approached Hafu about the opportunity to play with us, she was really excited to join and to be with us as well as us. Like we were really excited to be with Hafu on the team and to play together. I think it's a great opportunity to grow together as well.
Yeah.
I've
Absolutely.
always seen Hafu as a player with a big potential,
Mhm.
and I mean, she has a very competitive mindset. whenever she like sets her mind to the game, I guess. And
Oh
wants
yeah,
to
no
participate.
doubt.
She
No
learns.
doubt.
She really learns it by heart and like becomes good at it. So I mean, yeah, she really became force to be reckoned with during the last couple of months,
Yep.
and we now have to see some results from her in tournaments, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we get a chance to see her in tournaments, which is going to be awesome. You know, that I think that's going to be really, really cool. So let's talk about, I guess, how this all happened. You know, again, you guys said you guys were waiting, and I'm sure a lot of teams probably were approaching you guys, given that you were, you know, you guys came as a group for the most part. So how did Cloud9, you know, jump in here? I mean, there are other teams like TSM. I mean, maybe did TSM approach you guys? Did you know some other teams? Maybe talk about who are some of the other teams that approached you guys, and then why did you choose Cloud9?
Well, so to give you some more background on this, like, well, we formed Doggy House in when, like December? Jan, was December, right?
Yes, before
Yes.
ESGN probably. Yeah.
Yeah, before.
It was actually before
ESG.
that even. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like November
Yeah.
probably.
And like having a roster of players, like we didn't want to split. Obviously, I mean, Savitz was poached by Curse, which was a great loss for us. But then the team still stayed together with all the players and Artosis and Nyx. Obviously, Nyx retired, so we were looking for opportunities and people were approaching us. But well, the thing is, like, we are working with Gem as well, Gem the agency, so
Yep.
Global Esports Marketing, and we have
Global esports
having this,
management.
yeah, and having this relationship, like Gem was also looking for a team that can take us and work together with us. So we were looking, and people were approaching, and in the end, like Cloud9 was really the team to go because the discussions were going great. We had some great discussions. Same plans for the future, same view at the game and what kind of team we'd like to build. So we decided to go. Like Cloud9 decided to take us, and we decided to agree also as like and go with Cloud9. So it took some time, but if you really want to, like, this is a long-term relationship. It's not for 3 months. It's not like for a month. We want to have this team and be able to keep it and be here in Hearthstone for like a couple of years at least. So that's why we took our time as well with picking the teams and planning and building the future. So that's why we ended up with Cloud9, and I'm sure like everybody's super excited about it, as well as the Cloud9 management as well. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
How much input did you guys have on the other players, or did Cloud9 just have somebody in the Hearthstone space that was really really tuned in to know even who to pick up? Because it sounded like maybe you guys had some input into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question because Cloud9 was when Cloud9 got interested in Hearthstone. First was by talking to us. They did some research and they approached a couple of players. They were discussing with them. Like there were a couple of ideas as well, like maybe creating an EU team, an NA team. So we were well. It took some time before we actually decided how we'd like to move forward. Like what would be the best option for the players and for Cloud9 itself. Well, Hearthstone is a bit different than League of Legends, for example, because most of the events are in EU right now, and there is no need to split teams between like EU and NA. So we decided to go with one team, and we were also discussing like what will be the best number. Do we have to get like 3 players, 6 players, 7 players? There were some examples of like Magic the Gathering teams having a lot of players, a lot of deck builders, and then players who are active. And on the other hand, like we were thinking, how many players can we sustain for the longer period of time? So we like juggled the numbers, looked at what we have, what's the budget, and what's the future for us, and decided that 5 will be the perfect number for now.
Okay, so
Yep,
for
that's
now,
right.
do you guys think it's going to be continually more? Because five seems to be the right number for team events, right? I mean, at least the few team events that we've seen to date, 5 seems to be right at the exact number.
Yeah,
Do you-
there's always been like 4 players, right? And it's always helps to have at least one substitute player
Yeah,
if
exactly.
if one cannot manage to play. So yeah, I mean, we've had 5 players before on Dogger House, and now we have 5 players on Cloud9. So
Yeah.
it's like a perfect number to have if there's team events coming up. But it also like it's actually good to keep the group not too big because there might be, I don't know, bad communication or something like
Yeah.
that. Like keeping a group smaller has its upsides for sure.
keep everybody on the same page, that sort of it.
Yeah, definitely. Also, like as a team captain, I wanted to have like less people because you can have easy communication between the group, and you really have like a structure instead of like if you have too many players, then you have different groups forming. Like especially when we're not living in a team house, we'll be living in our own houses. So then there is a huge possibility that the NA players like keep to themselves more, and then EU players keep to themselves instead of like the more players we have, the more problems we have with managing the players and helping them grow. So
Right.
so definitely 5 was the best number there.
Cool. Well, talking about Doggy House, obviously Doggy House for the most part is getting picked up by Cloud9. There is one member of Doggy House that is missing, and Artosis is not on that list, right? So let's talk about that. Artosis has always been, kind of half player, half caster, half everything, I guess you could say. So is this kind of a step towards him not being as much of a player anymore, or why didn't Cloud9 pick up Artosis?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Artosis is he's pretty much the guy who revealed us to the public, pretty much gave us this pushed us
exposure.
into the
Yeah.
spotlight.
Right.
And we because of the stuff he made for us, because of the things he did for us, we pretty much made him the captain, pretty much as a leader figure, as a managing figure, because he introduced us to so many people, and through all his connections, we just were able to experience so much stuff, like Fight Night, like other tournaments as well. And I mean, Artosis was definitely the deciding factor to make Doggy House big, and that's why he was chosen to be our team captain. However, in recent days, Artosis has not been able to focus on Hearthstone as much as we would want him to do, and I mean, of course, we don't blame him for our poor team performance in the Take TV Team League, for example, because we know Artosis is a busy man. He has a lot on his plate. He's a father, a husband. He's a caster. That's his main profession, and he has a lot of stuff to do. So naturally, Hearthstone is not his top priority, which is fine. And we pretty much chose. We are still connected, and we still talk very often. Obviously, we are great friends, and but professionally, we chose to take different paths now.
I mean,
so I can add to that.
Go ahead.
Great, Chris.
No, go ahead. No, add to that.
Okay, so basically, as Jan said, Dan has a lot of activities in life. Like he's focusing on family, he's focusing on his StarCraft career, and also thinking about casting Hearthstone. We are moving to be real professional gamers, focusing on Hearthstone specifically. So we'll be testing a lot, practicing a lot, having group sessions, and a lot of team activities as well, which takes a lot of time. It's like a job basically. So definitely Dan doesn't have time for it right now, but maybe in the future we'll find way to connect with him again. I mean, we are still great friends, and we are still in contact, and we love Dan loves us. So I'm sure that we will be somewhere there, and I'm sure that we will see him casting events as well and playing in them, because he's a good player as well.
Still Doggy House for life, right? Even though you're on professional teams, still Doggy House exists. It's kind of like Liquid Valley, same thing. I mean, there's we still have a group. It's just not a team, right? It's just a group of people. So
in our hearts, Doggy House will always.
That's
exist.
right, exactly. Okay, well, congratulations to you guys. I can't wait to see again you guys competing, representing Cloud9, and what's in store in the future for you guys.
Yeah, hyped for the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some Nax Ramus leaked cards.
Naxaramas.
Yes, leaked cards. So no official announcement today, which is the first. I don't think so. Let me just refresh Reddit just in case. There hasn't been any announcement today from Blizzard, right?
But a lot of unofficial stuff.
Yeah, so no official card release or anything like that, or just reveals today. But we did have some screenshots leaked earlier this week. and lots of good stuff too. Lots of bosses, lots of new cards. And here's the link, guys. Hearthstone has a great link, so check it out here. And let's talk about it. And let me link it to, in case you guys don't have it, link it there. But okay, let's take a look at these leaked photos, and we'll start talking about it. Trump, I kind of want to get your opinion on some of these photos first. Have you gotten a chance to look at it? Oops, let me change this real quick before I.
Well, yes, I love looking at new stuff.
New stuff, awesome. Any
Isn't it spoiling the fun? Oh my god.
what's spoiling the fun?
Well, no, the bosses and
What?
the mechanics before we play the actual adventure mode.
I mean, it's still gonna be awesome. Like, it's gonna be awesome when we get a chance to finally play it. Even though we can discuss it now, right? It's not that bad. I don't think. So, Gnimsh, are you saying you didn't look at it at all? You're just closing your eyes, like, oh, don't spoil it for me.
Well,
don't
actually,
spoil it."
actually, I discussed it in detail yesterday.
I know that's
but,
true.
But I'm so hyped that I can discuss it again.
Okay.
I
but-
love those cards.
all right, Trump. So, what do you? Okay, first things first. What do you think about the bosses that you've seen?
Well, I was expecting them all to have like a different flavor to them, maybe different decks. One of the things I look at immediately is like, well, it's on the first one, it's Patchwork, and he doesn't have playable cards. That's pretty cool. So they all have their own flavor to them. I think it's going to be a really good adventure.
Any of the other bosses look really cool to you? Because there's Patchwork, which is right here. There's Max Ramo, which is a spider, right?
Mexena.
Oh, Mixena. I can't even read that. It's very hard. Mixena is that, which is the big spider, and then Gothic. Is that? It's Gothic,
Yeah,
right?
that's
It's a little
Gothic,
blurry.
yeah.
Gothic, and then
Lotheb?
Lotheb? Yep,
Yeah,
Lotheb.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
You can see actually his hero power there too. Deal damage, 3 damage to the enemy hero. Interesting. And there's one more, right?
Well, there's actually a lot.
There's a lot more, but I thought there was one more in this.
Not the
Definitely.
Plague Bringer.
Yeah, not the Plaguebringer, Firlina.
Yeah, Farolina. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we have a lot of bosses that are not even shown here, but we know all of them because they will probably mirror exactly the raid from World of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this one that has Raised Dead. I think we're not sure which one that one is. That's kind of cool. Gnimsh, what do you think? What do you think about these heroes?
Oh man, I'm excited. I'm really excited for this mode. The adventure mode is kind of similar to what we had in World of Warcraft TCG. We had something called raids. So those were the multiplayer modes where you could fight the bosses, and the bosses, they used mechanics and cards that were unplayable for constructed play, but they were really, really exciting. So as Trump mentioned, Patchwork, no cards. He only has a weapon, so he's putting a clock on you. He will kill you in 8 turns. Also, the weapon has a death rattle,
cool.
so you probably don't want to destroy the weapon because something bad will happen. And you probably want to kill Patchwork before the weapon is destroyed because something bad will happen again. He will enrage or something. Also, like, outer bosses, pretty exciting. The Riders of Apocalypse, I think, like the Death Knights, the 1/7s, your hero is immune. You probably have to kill all of them to get to the boss, which has 7 life. Kelsuzad, like, oh man, there's so much to talk about. I mean, when they reveal everything, we'll have tons of content to produce on this adventure mode.
I know it's gonna be. Man, the first week it comes out is gonna be insane. Oh man, and it could be any day now. I mean, given that it's leaked like this, I feel like it could be any.
There's actually a suggested release date. It's the Gummy Bear Holiday or something. Did you hear about it?
No. No, what?
Okay, so right now people are freaking out about the release date and they're speculating everything. And apparently one of the Blizzard employees, Catalyst, had like a neutral post about having a snack on Naxx release. And he posted a picture of a Gummy Bear pack. And people speculated that Naxx will be released at the Gummy Bear Holiday something, which is 15th of June, I guess. Oh, July. 15th of
July.
July.
Okay, so all right, so that's 19. That's kind of a cute way to reveal it if that's what they did. That's kind of cool.
I mean,
But-
people also speculated that it would be like June 20th for the 8th anniversary of Naxxramas.
That would have been really
Original.
cool. I wish that would have lined up. That would have been such
Or
a...
like 1st of August as well, because 1st of August is, if I'm not, it's, wait. No, I think it's 1st of July. Well, it was a speculation where you release it and it's Tuesday, so it's patch day. And then because the wings are being released like week by week, so every another week is a patch day, so it's a perfect day to release on that day.
Oh, I see. All these speculations, man. But given that it's, again, these photos have been leaked, I have a feeling it's very soon. So I'd guess it's before August. It has to be. I mean, what I would guess is July. If I was a betting man, I would bet in July right now. So it's going to be exciting. It's getting really, really anxious to see it. Let's talk about some of these cards that we see. One I mentioned, the Sir Zelik, the 1/7, the hero is immune. 3 mana. What do you guys think of that? Actually, Ek0p, what do you think of this card? I'll ask you first.
Well, I think, as far as I know, this is gonna be a boss card, so it's not gonna be like playable.
Not playable.
constructed,
Okay.
right? Because it doesn't have a rarity symbol. That's my assumption,
True.
I guess.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, it technically wouldn't be that overpowered in constructed, but it would be like a better version of Mogushan Warden, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's essentially a taunt, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually a very valid point. I missed it before. So, like, if there is no rarity symbol, it's probably the card that's being used by a boss. And if there is a rarity symbol, like on the other cards, then it's a playable card that will be given to us through the reward system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could. Yeah, I mean, it could also be that some of those legendaries won't be playable. I'm not sure. I like it's just a speculation. Everything in the end, everything might be playable. Who knows?
Yeah. Trump, what do you think? You think this card's playable or?
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Okay.
It's going to definitely be only for the boss. And I expect a lot of bosses to have unique cards, and I look forward to seeing them. This card is OP, if it were a card. Which is basically what I expect for any boss card.
Boss cards, yeah. That's why they won't be playable. Okay, let's talk about... so there's 2 of them here. So we'll talk about the Fugan and the Stalag card?
Yeah.
So these are 2 separate cards, right? That can combine, or they have some synergy between them 2?
Yeah.
And they're both legendaries too, so kind of interesting how they are. And the death rattle is pretty cool. Like they kind of summon each other if one of them's died, previously in the game. That's cool mechanic. It's a brand new mechanic. We haven't seen synergy between 2 specific cards. Like they actually have text about specific cards, I think, in the past. So pretty cool. Trump, what do you think of this?
Great.
They actually,
All right, yeah.
They actually don't summon each other. They summon different. They summon a third card. Which
that's
is not revealed
card.
yet, which might be like something completely overpowered. Like
It's an 11/11.
I can give you some more background here, actually.
Okay, sure.
So basically, this encounter in Naxxramas looks like you enter the chamber, and then you have Fugan on the, I think, left side and Stalag on the right side. And in the end of the chamber, there is the boss. The boss is called Thaddeus, and he's like a big Frankenstein dude standing there and doing nothing.
Okay.
And you advance with the raid, and you have to kill Fugan and Stalag at the same time. If you don't, they revive themselves. But if you kill them at the same time, then you have a couple of seconds to actually reach Thaddeus, because Thaddeus is standing still. And when you reach Thaddeus, after a couple of seconds, he actually starts to attack you, and there is the boss fight. So Thaddeus here is the big dude. He's the real deal. And as like Ek0p mentioned, he can be anything. Like he can be a big like 11/11 dude. He can be a master hero, like Jaraxxus, just replacing your hero. So it's kind of exciting to see what will happen here.
No, that sounds like an awesome adventure mode scenario there. So, but it kind of sounds like it might be specific to the adventure mode. It's kind of what you were getting at, Ek0p, right? Just not, you don't know if these cards are actually going to be playable from a constructed standpoint or not.
Exactly.
What do you think of this card? Do you think this card is playable?
There's a hint as well, actually, because look at the picture with those guys.
It's
There is a
1x.
finger on the treasure box.
Oh.
So it seems like a reward for the player to complete the wing.
That's a good point.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There is a ×1 by him too, which is kind of indicative of possible
You're
constructed.
actually right, Gnimsh. I think they are actually going to be playable.
Okay, so I guess. Wow. I mean, you kind of have to play them in tandem, right?
Yeah, obviously you're gonna
Yeah.
play both. It's gonna be hard to pull it off, because you have to draw both, and you can only have one of each in your deck. But yeah, once you get it, I think the reward is gonna be insane.
Yeah. 4-7
Yeah.
vanilla. That's not too bad, right, Trump? 4-7. Pretty good
Yeah,
vanilla for
stats are
5.
fine.
Yeah. Right. All right. Let's talk about the other card that we have here, which is
Oh man, that's my card.
Kel'Thuzad. Kel'Thuzad, which is really blurry, but it's an 8 mana card. Same deal. You know, clicking on the treasure chest. Looks like it's a reward for completing at least one of the
Everything.
quarters here. And it says at the end of the turn, summon all friendly minions that died that turn. That sounds crazy good. What do you guys think of that? Gnimsh, what do you think?
Unleash the hounds, clear the board, then kills that
I
away.
mean, you can't do both, right? Unless you have the coin. I guess you could do both.
Yeah, I mean, well, I love the card. Kel'Thuzad is a lich, like he's the kind of like king of the undead, and well, the card is pretty powerful. I mean, when you create cards based on the lore heroes like Kel'Thuzad, Arthas, or like Thrall, whatever,
Mhm.
or Illidan, you want to make I mean, Illidan is a bad example because the card is bad, but you want to make the card strong so that when people who love the lore, they play the card, they can feel like, hey, this is this guy from the lore, and he's really powerful. And when I will be playing Kel'Thuzad, I will have a feeling that, hey, he controls the dead. So I attack your minions with my minions, then play Kel'Thuzad, and my minions come back to life because he controls the dead. And next turn, you really have to kill Kel'Thuzad and those minions that just came to life, because if you don't, they will come to life again.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Even
Nice.
if you like revive only one minion, that's like 4 cost or whatever. The Kel'Thuzad was worth it, because the combined stats from Kel'Thuzad plus the minion that died, that traded something. It's
Yeah, like
just-
Chillwind.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
for example,
Chillwind.
imagine Yeti, right? Like Yeti trading into something. Like, yeah, it's just going to be insane value.
Also, it seems like at the end of turn might trigger at the end of turn of your opponent as well. What do you think? Because the card text is at the end of turn, summon all friendly minions that died this turn.
I think it's the end
Yeah.
of your turn, right? I don't
At
think it's
the end of what?
at the end of turn. It says some. It says at the end of the turn.
like
Does it say
the end
the
of turn.
turn?
Or maybe it actually works only on your turn, but still, it's really powerful there.
I'm pretty
if you
sure.
combine it
it's-
with
yeah.
Reincarnate, the new Shaman card,
Oh,
you can play.
gosh. Yeah.
Then turn 10, you play Kel'Thuzad, then you reincarnate him, so he dies, and then new Kel'Thuzad comes to
comes
play,
back,
and the new
oh.
Kel'Thuzad actually summons the old Kel'Thuzad that died that turn, so you get double.
Oh my god.
Is that how it's gonna work? I guess it would work that way. Yeah, that's crazy. Is that the
I don't
text?
actually know. They actually.
It depends on the sequencing there.
No, it's like the Kel'Thuzad is in play,
Yeah.
and there's an end of turn, and he summons all the minions that died, and Kel'Thuzad was the minion that died this turn, so he summons the Kel'Thuzad.
Oh yeah. Because
What does
he's-
reincarnate say again? Like, is it put a copy
right.
of the minion? Or what is
I'm not sure.
Reincarnate. Let me look.
It was called Rebirth.
Yeah, it's called Rebirth. It's
it? No, they renamed it. To
They
reincarnate.
renamed it Reincarnate, yeah.
Because with wordings
Destroy
like
a
this,
minion.
with wordings like this, you actually really have to like implement the graveyard soon, because it's actually really confusing. Like, especially with cards like Kel'Thuzad.
The card
Mm.
text says Rebirth, destroy a minion, then return it to life with full health. So you destroy Kel'Thuzad.
So it's the
and
same
then-
minion, right? So
Yeah.
technically, you would get like the same Kel'Thuzad that got destroyed out of your graveyard into play, right? So technically,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have a Kel'Thuzad to summon back to,
Oh, that's a good point.
to play, right?
So, yeah, that's true. If there is a graveyard, I mean, is that even? Is
There
that
was-
going to be a
Back in
parameter?
back in Alpha, there was supposed to be a graveyard, right?
Yeah. I mean,
And-
there's even a button there, right? We noticed the
yeah,
button
there's
there.
the button.
Mhm.
So, I still think that eventually they are going to introduce the graveyard, and I was actually hoping it would be with Naxxramas,
Mhm.
but maybe it's not going to happen. I don't know. We will
Okay.
see.
Trump, what do you think of this card?
Well, part of the reason why I haven't been exactly too enthusiastic about this entire part, as you can tell, is because it's all really it's not officially released from Blizzard, and like as it says in front, it might be inaccurate. So all this argument about the wording on how it works, I find to be like trivial. We have absolutely no idea. It'll probably be clarified, and if not, then I'll have to see the cards for itself. Kaltuzad, if you're asked, like, I think it's a pretty weak card. It's cool. It's very flavorful, but it's difficult to make use of an 8 mana card. Like if we're talking about, we're gonna look into the card's viability.
Just because it's purely a high mana cost issue for you. Like if it was like a 6 and lower stats, would it be more viable, or is that the biggest problem with this card for you?
Well, yeah, it's just too much mana.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I'd probably play this card over Ragnaros in my deck.
And I will probably add that it
Yeah.
depends on the metagame, because the metagame gets slower, or like it's slow in general, then 8 mana cards will be great. And if it's super fast, like turn 8 is just when you die, you probably
Or
won't
you're
have
already
time
dead.
to play it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so but anyways, really exciting stuff. You get a chance to, just again, the more and more that we see of Naxxramas, I think looks more and more awesome. So can't wait for it to come out, and can't wait for to see some more things released, at least from Blizzard officially. That'd be cool if they did. But this week seems to be breaking the streak of 9 straight weeks that they released something. I think on Thursday morning, or Wednesday, either Wednesday or Thursday. So I'm not sure what that means, but we'll have to speculate some more. All right, let's.
What I like about it is
yeah.
that I like the more broad scale of what it is. Like, there's normal and class challenges in Heroic, and one big thing was always wondering about whether or not everyone would just be on the same difficulty. But by making a Heroic mode, it makes it a bit more challenging for those who want to challenge, and I find that great. And I like the way that the class challenges are done. Like, rumor is the Hunter one with the web spinner is your entire deck is full of web spinners, and I find that to be a cool challenge.
Oh,
So
yes.
in order to earn your web spinner, you gotta play deck full of web spinners against a certain boss. Pretty cool.
As
Yeah,
you can
that'd
see
be
with this
hilarious.
the screenshot right here, where the 3 cards that you're mulliganing are all web spinners. It's pretty cool. Were you gonna say E-Cop?
Yeah, that would be hilarious. I mean, I'm looking forward to those challenges. Blizzard has some fun stuff prepared for us. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let's move on to let's talk a little bit about current meta on the ladder right now. And we do this each and every week, so just a little bit of update. And want to see if you guys have been noticing anything on the ladder that's changed, particularly with maybe a deck that's getting popular, that sort of thing. E-Cop, anything kind of changing for you on the ladder?
To be honest, I haven't even been playing ladder as much recently.
Okay.
Because I've reached after playing Token Druid a lot, I went on an insane win streak and got number 3 EU, and now I'm sitting on my rank like the coward that I am. And
Hey man, whatever's smart, man. Whatever.
I just wanted qualifier spots, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit it out. It looks good so far. At the moment, I think I'm number 5, so things are looking good.
Cool.
And so therefore, I haven't been playing much constructed, but I spectated a lot of people, and still a lot of miracle, still a lot of druid, and zoo handlock, the usual stuff. Nothing new really.
What do you guys think about the old doggy house freeze mage coming back? We're starting to show its
Yeah.
head with the giants and
Frozen
everything.
Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting back. Like, people are trying it. I mean, myself, I haven't been playing a lot, but I was also watching the streams, and it seems like after the RDU winning DreamHack, Freeze Mage is getting back, so people are experimenting. So, well, it's a weird ladder deck. I mean, I've seen Colento getting rank 1 legend with it a couple of days ago on EU. But on EU, he didn't face any warriors. Like, warrior was non-existent.
Yeah.
But then when he switched to NA, warrior was kind of like a popular deck. So it's actually different when you grind. Like, EU and ladder, and EU and NA have different setups of people. So yeah, I mean, people adjust. The deck is evolving again, and it's in the metagame again. Not sure if it's because the hunter is less popular, or if it's just because it's just a short popularity shift with regards to DreamHack. It's hard to tell, really. Like the metagame will always fix itself really fast because it's really dynamic. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
we were starting to see freeze change even before DreamHack.
I mean,
So I think
obviously, sorry, Chairman.
no, go on. That's all I was
I
gonna
mean,
say.
obviously, you will not see any new decks because we don't have any new cards. Everything has been discovered already. I doubt that there will be anything
I don't know about
new.
that. We always say that, and then all of a sudden, some other kind of deck gets discovered, and
Yeah, but that's like 2 cards different than the deck that existed before. Woohoo! Like it's not. There's not much innovation at all. Like everything has been played already, even though it might have not been competitive. But and for some reason that deck that used to be shit now is a good deck. But yeah, it's everything is old right now. The thing is though that and this is like the important part that makes this game so awesome. The meta game is not stale. Like it's always evolving. Not evolving, but it's always shifting. There's always like a meta game shift going on. So you will, even though you will see the same decks over and over again, if no new cards are introduced or if no cards are nerfed or buffed, you will still see those metagame shifts because the game is so well balanced and there are always like decks that counter the most popular deck and therefore it like always shift. The most popular deck always changes and therefore the metagame shifts.
right.
So that's actually a really cool part about Hearthstone.
Yeah. Also, I mean, what's amazing is that most of the decks are playable. Actually, like I was leveling recently from the like not the legend grind, but I was like around rank 5, and people are playing Shaman with Bloodlust, for example, or like there was a lot of aggro paladins who were really doing well and when winning against the top decks that are there. So also like most of the top players actually got to legend already. So the metagame where people are still trying to get to legend is totally different. And we obviously know all the examples of people that got their own deck and they pushed it to the legend, they got to the legend, and then they post on Reddit like, hey, I used this control
Right.
hunter deck and got to legend, like check it out.
Yeah, true. Trump, you seem to disagree, I think, with the statement that all the decks have been discovered. You see, at least it seemed like you disagreed. What's your thoughts on the current meta and just, I guess, the statement that everything's been figured out?
Well, I actually started keeping track recently of stats, so I have a much better statistical grasp of what the meta is. Finally, it turns out that it's true. You can get a gut feeling enough that it's mostly rogue, warlock, and druid. And as for the statement that all the decks have been discovered, while I was playing, I played against a few pretty edgy and innovative decks, and I think that some of them have a really good chance of being extremely good. So I would say no to that statement.
Like what?
Well, as two examples, there's been some warrior pirate deck which has been stirring things up, and there's also a mid-rangey mage.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, but
What,
the point that I
mid-range
made
mage?
is that it's nothing new. Like those decks have been played before, even if not in a competitive setting.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to really get into it, then pretty much every deck has been played at some level, but the difference is making the jump into the competitive setting, I would say. Like, you can theorize that, okay, the Alarmobot deck has been made, but there's a big difference. I would consider a new deck if it actually were made viable for a competitive setting.
So I mean like tier 4 deck becoming a tier 2 deck, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we all agree on that.
Yeah. Hard to
Alright.
disagree there.
Yeah. So I mean, not I guess not too many things new this week. I mean, from week to week, I think leading up to maybe the last month, I mean, we saw lots of changes. Even if it was just like you said, Ek0p just kind of recycling some of the older decks and that sort of thing. We were seeing rapid changes, but it's starting to slow down just a little bit. But I think that's going to drastically change what's next comes out. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait to see the events, the first events that happen whenever the next cards come out. It's going to be wild. It's going to be
Man.
it's going to be great to cast actually.
People will be trying all the weirdest ideas.
Mhm.
Like ladder
That's the
will go
best
crazy.
part, man. That's the best part of games when just crazy things are being tried. But okay, let's move on. A couple events are going to be going on this weekend, guys, and one being the what's the official title? Millennium Invitational is
I think it's Millennium Cup. We
oh,
can call it
Millennium Cup. That's what it
or
is.
M Millennium Cup. Yeah.
I think that's what it is, and that's going to be taking place in France. And Gnimsh actually will be flying over there I think today, right, or tomorrow.
I'm thinking of tomorrow. So in like I think 12 hours. Oh my god! In 12 hours, I'm actually going there.
And who's going to be competing in that?
Okay, so the people invited are Best Marmot, one of the best French players, Gara, Amaz, Kungan, and I'm missing one player. I'm invited as well, and there is one more in Colento.
Colento.
So we have like
Yeah.
6 players who are invited and 2 players who qualified, and the players who qualified are the French players as well.
Yeah, I see the 2 French players. It's like Best Marmotte.
Best Marmot was invited.
Best
so
Marmotte. Oh, okay. Bibermenian.
Yeah.
You can see. I think they're both from Romania. Is that right? I don't.
France.
No,
France,
France. Actually. And okay, so that's going to make up a. I only see 7 names there. Okay, I guess one more will be qualifier or.
I think
like
he is actually announced. Torok or Torik.
Torik. Okay.
Yeah, I think this Torlk. Super hard to pronounce actually. Torlk.
Torlk. Okay. Tork. That is pretty hard.
Work?
Torque. No, it's not Torque, Ek0p. It's not Torque. But okay, it's going to be 6,000 euro prize pool.
Yeah.
So it should be good stuff. When does it start? Do you know what time it starts on Saturday?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this tournament, apart from the prize pool, which is quite good, is the veto rule. So we can actually ban our opponent's decks. So the format is like
nice.
we start in a group stage and we'll be playing best of 3. Every one of us brings 3 decks, and then before the match starts, we announce our classes, and then we can pick which deck will be banned on our opponent's side.
Yeah.
So it creates it's kind of weird because then if you lose the first match, the first game, you will have to pick the last deck you have because the other deck was banned. But on the other hand, it creates a lot of strategy coming into this tournament because what do I want to ban? Like, do I always want to ban Rogue? Maybe I want to ban Druid, or maybe I want to create decks that are weak against Warrior, and if my opponent is playing Warrior, I will always ban Warrior. So right now I'm in the process of like trying to find the golden setup of my decks for this weekend's tournament.
Yeah. No, I like the vetoing concept into Hearthstone. Best of 3, it's a little rough though, I have to say.
It's like the group stage will be best of 3, and then we move to like double elimination best of 5. But I'm not sure.
It would be a lot better in a best of 5. That'd be really cool. Trump, what do you think of that vetoing concept?
I think it's cool, and it's interesting how a lot of the tournaments have a different format set up, so you'd really have to do your research and plan out a good strategy going in, and it shakes things up. I think the ban system in particular is pretty good, and I think a lot of the classes are viable, so banning one's fine. I think I dislike the fact that you are forced into the remaining deck if you lose with your first one. But, maybe perhaps better would have been you have 4 decks and then one of them is banned.
I agree. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I agree with that as well. Yeah, that would be so much better.
Yeah. Ek0p, what do you think? Veto. Like it?
I've actually always been a huge opponent of best of 3 format with 3 decks available because it's huge. It favors the player who actually won the first game more, if simply because he can counter whatever deck would beat him in game 2. So not having the choice forces the player to like just play 3 decks that are good against everything, not just pure counter decks. So yeah, I mean, I think it just removes the a little bit more randomness, in my opinion. Not randomness. It removes the emphasis on game 1 pretty much. Like the game 1 is not such a deciding factor anymore as it was in that old format. I do agree that I would have preferred this whole veto format in a best of 5 as well. Like I think best of 5 with 4 decks available, one of them being banned, would be cooler. And there's what I like especially about this veto thing is also the mind games that play a huge factor in this whole thing. I mean, you will like try to snipe a deck that would counter one of your decks, but that deck might also get banned. So like, there's gonna be a lot of mind games going on. Like just to have an edge, just to have just to ban the right deck so that your two remaining decks that you expect that you will still have after your one deck gets banned. Those two decks, it's complicated, but yeah, that's how mind games are. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I really like it because even though the top players right now are pretty adept at multiple decks and classes, it forces you to do that, right? You can't just be this amazing miracle player, for instance, and just rely on that deck to, win you a ton of games. You're gonna have to be actually good at Druid and Warrior and lots of other different types of classes too. So definitely a cool concept, and hopefully we'll see it more in a non-best of 3 situation, or like what you said, just having them be able to bring more decks than the actual format, like the number that you need just to win the series. But pretty cool. Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be good. The Millennium Cup probably starts earlier in the day, given that it's in Europe. So folks in NA, probably in the morning, I would assume, especially if you're on the West Coast. So check that out. Do you know? It's not on Twitch, right? It's on a different platform.
I have no idea. I think it's not on Twitch. I think it will be streamed somewhere else.
Okay. We'll have to look for it. Yeah.
There's actually a channel. Yeah, there's like a millennium.org site, and they have a stream there. So I guess it will be streamed on their own site.
Okay, very cool. Also on this weekend, guys, is going to be the wellplayed.org invitational, which let me put this here. And Trump will be playing in it, and I will be casting it with Frodan. And there's 8 invited players, 3,000 USD prize pool. It's going to be a best of 5 double elimination. So it's going to be 3 days. It starts tomorrow. Well, I think we'll do all the first round tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday will be just the remaining matches, and the finals will be. Is it a best of 5? It might actually be a best of 5 too. I'm not sure if it's a best of 7. But Trump, how are you feeling going in this tournament?
Well, I'm up against a pretty tough first opponent, Thijs, and there's a lot of tough guys there, but I will do my best.
Yeah, definitely a tough group of guys. Trump, Dark Wanix, Reynad, RDU. Oh my god, Reynad, RDU happens. Look out! Tides, and I forget the 2 more players here. Gosh, it's not actually officially on here. They've announced it, I believe, but I just...
You sure? I haven't heard about them announcing
Let me see the last 2 players. I could have sworn they announced it.
Yeah, Kid Cats and someone.
There you go, yeah. Kit Kats and...
Who is someone? Someone is playing Hearthstone as well?
Yeah, someone's
Someone
that
NA.
star Hearthstone player. Well, we'll find out soon. If not right now, you can check it out tomorrow. It starts at 2. Show. Oh, it is show?
Yep.
Okay, so show is going to be a European player. Awesome. And you can check it out tomorrow, guys. I think it starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. So and it's going to be on Twitch, so be sure to watch that too. Should be fun. Can't wait to cast with Frodan. It's always a lot of fun casting with Dan. So 2 big events this weekend, guys. I don't know what's going on the weekend after, but seems to be a lot of events popping up here and there, and a lot more coming in the near future. So look for that. All right. Well, let's move on. For those of you that are watching right now, be sure to have your questions ready. We're going to be doing Q&A in just 1 second, but I wanted to bring something up. A little bit of something that we could hash out here on the show, but Ek0p, you were on Amaz's stream recently.
Oh yeah.
And
oh my God.
here we go. And you had a few things to say about our friend Trump here, and they did have something to do with saying that Trump's in doing Hearthstone for the money, or statements like that. So you want to elaborate on that some, because I know Trump wants to comment on that.
Yeah, but I don't really care what Trump is going to comment on that.
Oh, okay.
I have my opinion about Trump, and I'm not going to change it unless Trump changes.
Okay, Trump, your thoughts on this?
Unless I change what?
Oh man, it's just got all uncomfortable and shit.
I'm not
Yeah.
even going to do this. Seriously.
Why did you push them into that direction?
Exactly. Like everyone knows my opinion about Trump. I think Trump is like a greedy bastard, only cares about money and nothing else. So
Shrub, you want to address that? I mean, we wanted to talk about it on the show, so I know you wanted to address it. So, do you want to address it at all?
I don't know what I can do to change your mind on it, but I can confirm that that is not true.
Why do you think he's a
Good
greedy
at that.
bastard? I don't quite understand it.
I am
mean-
instantly convinced.
Okay, all right. Well, that's. Anyways, okay, it's obviously kind of uncomfortable here, so I think
Okay,
we'll skip
some
over.
animosity,
We'll,
so-
we can deal with this offline. So let's do some Q&A here. That was
I thought you would talk about that other Hamas stuff that happened
what?
today.
Which was? Oh, the Ragnaros
Exciting.
thing. The Ragnaros
bad?
thing.
Yeah, like that was stuff that you can actually talk about.
I don't even know why you would bet Amaz that.
Why would you bring drama to Value Town? Come on.
Well, I mean, it's it's
This is
Trump's
nonsense.
here and you're here, so we just address like obviously that statement since it was such a strong statement, and I don't agree with it either. So I figured we would talk about it a little bit. But anyways, I don't think anybody wants to talk about it now. So
I will say that it does, like, your statements do make people hurt inside, since we Hearthstoners, and especially those of us who have played together, especially live, I think that we've kind of formed bonds, and like, there are a lot of Hearthstone people who I've met in tournaments who I consider like good friends, and I'd love to see them again. It's just, it is hurtful to hear that, and it does make me a bit sad.
Yeah, well, not everyone can like you, and I am one of those people that don't like you. So deal with it.
okay, all right. So let's move on to some Q&A here, and let's for those of you that are watching in, oh God, a teddy bear, Teddy console Trump. All right, let's see if we can get some Q&A here going. Any questions you guys have, we'll answer real quick. Definitely type it in stream chat if you can. Is that the same Murgle from DreamHack?
Yeah,
Gnimsh?
definitely. That's LME, the little Murkai. An adventurous Murloc that actually will make it to France as well.
Nice.
He will be there.
All right, freaking chat's going too fast. How about this? Why don't you guys tweet me a question? This is not working. Tweet me at ChanManV, and we'll take questions that way. But let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back, and so that we can get some questions in before we go.